Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. Here are your hosts, Scott Bear and Jeremiah Johnson.
Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Jeremiah.
Welcome back for yet another week. We hope that everyone who listened to last week's show is coming back for this week's show.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. We and I were a little loopy. I realized I just plugged all the microphone stuff in, so you're actually Jer this week, and I'm Scott.
Oh, well, I don't even look at the technical side of it. I talk into this phallic object in front of my mouth.
Yes, well, that's my dick, so it's a good thing. I don't know why you're not using the microphone.
Picks up good sound. Yeah,
it does. It's got a good timbre.
For anyone curious as to why we completely destroyed, well, I guess people don't even know that we were destroying someone.
No. We made up a character according to like what a lot of people probably thought, and we decided to just give them a random name. But that wasn't so random.
That random name of that random character that we kept interjecting into last week's show was actually a good friend of ours who said, "Give me a shout out on next week's show."
They probably we were like, nobody knows who you are. So it's not going to be interesting to anybody to hear that. You're not even necessarily one of those power listeners where we like to give shout outs because hey, way to go, like Astolfo or Christopher Ball or Jason Northrup and Lacey.
This power listener got a shout out and a half because I have been friends with him for about 22 years and he goes, just give me a shout out on this week's show. Wow, did we ever. And if this is your first episode ever, go back last week. It's a bit of a shit show. We
shit on somebody very bad.
We shat on him so
Turned
hard.
him into a child molester. Just spoiler alert. So.
We did. But we also did a few other things last week. We went to the 5th annual Vermont Comic Con.
That's right.
It's
our fourth. Actually, that
was our fourth appearance.
That's right.
We skipped the first year. I don't even know.
I don't think
why.
I don't think we knew Jay at the time. I also don't know if we had the
Moulton,
podcast.
the owner organizer.
Yep. And I don't know if we knew him. And I also don't know.
Our show is also smaller then.
I can't even remember if we had a show at that point. I can't remember when the first one would have been. We started in 2014.
Well, we always bridge the idea that our show's been around for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Because
we're going on 5, yeah.
Going on 5. So
it was like February of 2014, our first shit episode that we recorded that we threw away.
Yeah, I think our first episode that we ever did, we have never aired anywhere. And may actually become a Patreon thing at some point. If either one of us can find the copy.
Oh, I've got it.
Oh my god, it was bad.
Recorded in a different program on different mics in a different space with different people. Maybe that last part.
It feels like it to me.
Yep.
But we've come a long way. We met Jay. We've done 4 years of the con. We became close friends.
Some of the Green Mountain Comic Expo that we did as well, and things like that. Yep. So.
And we've had Jay on every year to promote the con and talk a little bit about the guests, a little bit about the vendors, exactly what's going on. And he has been great enough to have us as pretty much the primary podcast there. No, we're not the only one, but we are Vermont's #1 podcast. Thank you for all of our listeners out there in listener land. We don't know what you're listening to us on, whether it's a app, a radio station, internet, or otherwise, but we thank you all. We definitely like to tout once in a great while that our listenership has actually hit over 3.2 million based on both downloads, streaming, and the radio.
Yes, that is our general.
What do you call it?
That is our exposure. Yes.
What do you call it when you get numbers through a radio station?
I don't know, numbers.
Oh, the radio numbers.
Yes, right, radio numbers. See,
but we've been reported back to by the 2 radio stations we're on and all of the other analytics that we are doing that well, and we thank everyone out there who's listening.
Yeah, and I hope that we can also say thanks to anybody listening that we handed cards out to and that immediately subscribed to our show at the con. We got quite a few people by the table. Luckily, Geeks Love Podcasts. We are living proof of that because we are geeks and we do a podcast, and so many people out there like to listen. We got picked up, hopefully, what seems like a lot of people who said they'd listen and subscribe pretty much smashed that subscribe button right on the spot in front of us because we made them. We said, you fucking subscribe now, you fucking, I don't know, Ben 10 character. I don't even know what characters are now.
Wow,
is that a thing?
That was a deep dive.
Okay, sure.
All right.
I didn't know what that would look like, but whatever.
We have some shout-outs that are very relevant to the con, but before we get into that, if you are a first-time listener and you're wondering what we're talking about and why we went to a con, we are Vermont's #1 podcast. We are a comedy news podcast where we pull the weirdest, strangest, most obscure stories from the internet. We drag them to the surface, we discuss them, and then we twist them into new content like TV series, movies, rap songs, books, stand-up acts. You name it, we've done it, and we will do it again.
I think we made we brainstormed recipes one time or something.
Yep. Yeah. We will turn any weird, obscure news story into
weird, obscure content.
Bit of content. And we also do interviews. Last week we had Jay Moulton on from Moulton Conventions, Vermont Comic Con. He was gracious enough to come on and talk a little bit about the con. We had a fun time hanging out with him, saying hi, tabling at the con. And next week, he will be back on again with some pretty epic news.
Yeah.
We can't give anything away until it happens.
But it's worth a listen for sure. Keep everybody abreast of what's going on around these parts. And we look forward to speaking with him again. He's always a delight. And he enjoys talking to us and us with him as well. So looking forward to Jay next week on that show.
We also have a few other interviews coming up. Expect a bunch of these throughout October. We have
Halloween month, everybody. Those of you who haven't listened before should realize that we love geeky stuff and whatever, but we're not like a geek culture podcast. So one thing we can call ourselves quite a few times out of the year is horror loving podcast. We might not always cover horror content, but we love it when we get a chance. October is Halloween month, and we are digging deep into that. We even started a little earlier with Mark Steger, who was on a couple weeks ago, and we're looking forward to rolling right into it. And a lot of that might be with some interviews.
Yep, we've already lined up an interview with Lloyd Kaufman. This is going to be the third episode of our show he's been on. And for those of you listening who don't know the name Lloyd Kaufman, he runs the oldest running...
First of all, shame on you, but also, it's okay if that happened. You might be young, and you haven't necessarily seen...
No, I agree. Let's shame our listeners.
Yes, shame on you. You go out and you watch goddamn trauma movies.
If you don't know the name Lloyd Kaufman, you're bad people.
Because that means you pretty much just shit all over James Gunn in a Disney-like fashion by telling James Gunn his early work is crap because because you didn't watch it. Because that's right, James Gunn himself got his start with Trauma.
Yeah, Lloyd Kaufman runs Trauma Studios, which is the longest-running indie movie studio company in the United States.
It's been successful. If you know Toxic Avenger, you know Trauma.
Toxic Avenger.
Toxie.
And James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep. Romeo and Juliet.
Well, let's just say Romeo and Juliet.
Very weird.
Let's not hold back. Let's not say that.
Yeah. Also, he's a pedophile.
No,
so I hear.
Well, he makes pedophile jokes.
Yes, yeah. By the way, I should point out, I don't actually think that was a joke.
I'm holding the...
It was a joke about pedophile jokes. Or a jokester. So
I'm glad you explained your pedophile joke.
Yeah, meta.
It's always great when someone can pedo-explain something to me.
Oh, you're just pedo-splaining. Yeah, leave it to you.
Well, I think we've had our episode title for this week.
Actually, pedo-splaining might be a good one.
So we're going to have Lloyd Kaufman back on for what will be his second appearance in the show, but he already...
Third episode because,
because, wow, does he love to talk to us.
And which is great, because honestly, I don't think we even scratched the surface last time around, and he was gracious enough, like, we'll let most guests talk.
I think I need to re-listen to those episodes to make sure we don't ask him, like, the same questions twice.
Who are you? Hey, remember James Gunn? Actually, we probably will touch a little bit on that because of the new news with James Gunn.
We probably will, yeah.
Because I would love to. Because that guy also.
So
he holds no bars, no holds. There we go. Holds no bar, no holds bar. There we go.
Well, now that Word Soup Jer is done talking. We will definitely be talking
trying to solve a fucking Wheel of Fortune puzzle.
Yeah. We'll definitely be talking to Lloyd Kaufman, who is the first employer of James Gunn, about James Gunn's recent firing from Disney.
Because he doesn't give a shit about shitting on big studios.
And about the new Trauma movie coming out. And we will also probably be doing a weird, and this is going to be a first for our show, we're trying to connect a former filmmaker who was on our show with Lloyd Kaufman.
Okay.
So we're going to be bridging a weird gap here, and we might even have Jordan McCloskey on a little bit after to find out if any of this works out or if it doesn't, because he's been on our show before talking about the movie Ghost Puncher.
Yeah, this is Jordan McCloskey. Yeah, yes.
And we're trying to get it shopped around Trauma, so we're going to see if we can make magic happen and see if our show can bring a former guest / filmmaker and a
legendary film studio head.
We're going to try to match make. This is almost like Match Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, our show's pretty much Match Game.
Yeah.
But we make movies.
That's right.
Weird
content.
I feel like we're touting ourselves a little higher than we are, but...
Yes.
And outside of that, we're also going to do a bunch of fun Halloween stuff. So
Yep.
make sure to stick with us throughout the month of October. We are definitely the show you want to listen to if you're a fan of Halloween.
Yeah, and we've been at this for a while, 231 episodes to be exact. And I know what a lot of you listeners are thinking, whether it's your first time or not. 231, boy, that sounds like a awfully odd number. Well, it's not prime if that's what you were thinking. Nope, it's 3 times 7 times 11. That's the prime factorization of 231. Moving on, nobody cares.
I did think it was an odd number because it is an odd number.
It's an odd number, but I was thinking
I
odd is
literally,
weird.
literally thought it was an odd number. And then you're
That's- that's good for you, because
then
there
you're
was one
like,
time-
You're probably thinking it's that number. It's not. Well, dude.
No, it's funny because you mentioned that, because there was one time, it was one of somebody listened to their first episode listening was like old good friend of mine who mentioned that it was an episode where you for some reason mentioned like the number 8 being prime, which is probably the least prime number ever. And so, and I ended up like shitting on you about it, and he called it prime shaming, which I really liked. So I prime shamed you one of these episodes. So you know what? Maybe you didn't know 231 was odd. But it's weird.
I like that.
All right, so I will prime shame when it comes down to it. We're not a math podcast. We should be getting into some good content, but we do kind of an annual thing. So this is sort of a special episode in that we do. This actually started way back in our first year when Shark Week was a thing, and it happened to overlap with not the March of the Juggalos. That's a new thing. The Juggalo Fest.
Gathering of
the Juggalos. There we go. And so we decided, hey, instead of doing all this crazy Shark Week stuff and jumping on that bandwagon, instead, let's jump on a real bandwagon for ICP and do a Juggalo week. Well, that turned out to be something we decided to do every single year, which now instead of doing something that coincides with Shark Week or whatever, we've decided to make it kind of whenever we really want to. Sometimes we'll try to make it coincide. Last year it was with the Juggalo March. It kind of worked out with this time it's just a year to the day to give you a little Juggalo roundup, I guess.
We sometimes have a rhyme or a reason for it, and this year there really isn't one, but we're so close to Halloween and clowns are so scary. I mean, heck, we even
I think it makes sense to lead into October, honestly.
Was it last year that we made our actual own Google map that people could subscribe to that had every clown attack around the U.S. because they were
it was.
epidemic.
It may have been 2 years ago. Yeah, because that's when I think when it happened. Right, it was last year. What didn't turn out to be that bad, or maybe it was. I can't remember. Anyway, we made our own. We were the first to go take all the research we had done, and I went on Google Maps, and I went on, and there were like just dozens and dozens of them. And we beat a lot of the other big news places to the scoop. I found some similar maps that ripped us off pop up later that weren't as cool or researched.
Well, ours was first. Ours was comprehensive.
It was way better research because we were up on those stories every week, and we're a weekly podcast, and we can do that. We pay attention to the news that matters.
So, without further ado, let's hit up Juggalo
Week.
Wow.
Cool.
Not to get too meta here, but that intro for Juggalo Week was weak.
It was, yeah.
I almost wish we had a soundboard where we could just play like a Juggalo, I don't know.
I may have put something in there,
something.
I don't know. Because we're actually going to go out on a sweet Juggalo song that was created by a friend of the show, Sonic Jalopy. No, that's not me doing like a weird split situation where I think that I'm actually somebody else. But it's
Jer's song by Sonic Jalopy, which you can find on our YouTube channel with a full music video.
We'll be going out on that.
We're going to be going out on that. If you want to hit us up on YouTube, make sure you look for Lost and Known Podcast. There is a video for this song up, so go find it.
It's a lyric video. You get all the lyrics in it.
And smash that subscribe button.
Yeah, smash it.
I don't know. That's what fucking
YouTubers are. They're always trying to make it sound cooler. Like, bonk it. Twist it.
Do they say that? Are they
bonk it? Twist it. Turn it. I don't know what that fucking toy is. Wait, no, that's not toy. That was what my uncle used to tell me to do.
The saddest thing is when you said all those words, I was like, fidget spinner.
No, it's like bop it, twist it, turn it, something, do it, da ba da da. And it's like a thing where it's like bop it, twist it, turn it.
The bop it.
No, the bop.
That's the name of the toy.
Oh no, that's right. That's the bop it. You're correct. I was thinking hippity hop, which is a hippity hop.
Yeah, you can't do any of those things with hippity hop.
No, that's why I was confused. I thought that's
it.
what I thought you were thinking of. I'm like, what hippity hop did you have, and why didn't I have one where you could twist it, turn it, bop it, and all that kind of stuff? But also that's what my uncle used to make me do when he snuck into my room. He'd be like, twist it, turn it, bop it, suck it. The old suck it. Come on. You used to play with the suck it, didn't you, Scott? Please don't tell me this is something I'm just digging up now.
I grew up with no uncles.
Okay, well.
My house was sans
I
uncle.
wasn't molested by uncles all my life. They didn't sneak into my room and make me twist it, turn it, bop it, suck it. Yeah, Casey Kasem was my uncle too.
Yes.
Yeah. Tonight we're going to sneak into your room and you're going to suck on my penis. And this one goes out to little Timmy, who is no longer with us and is in various bags around the state because he didn't twist it, turn it, bop it, suck it like you did. Well, this is getting dark again. We can't get this dark.
I'm in love with Casey Kasem trying to hawk bobbits while also slightly admitting to pedophilia slash murder.
This one goes out to little Timmy. Yep, Casey Kasem. I love
one
you.
goes into little Timmy.
I'd say you will be missed, but much like Paul Hogan, we've had this question about: is Casey Kasem dead? I assume he is.
The rumor always goes around, and I don't see why we can't do a Patreon content thing where Casey Kasem's a pedophile.
but like just slowly like ekes it out on the air. Just be like, this one goes out. Like
No,
this one goes in to little Timmy. Yeah. I can see you on my cameras.
Oh no, he picks one of those 1980s stalker songs. You know, the ones where it's like, I'm looking in your window.
Yeah.
I'm seeing you undressed, but I love you, baby. You can't see me 'cause of bushes.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, that was one of those real subtle ones, like, I'll be watching you. That's the original lyrics to I'll Be Watching You.
Yeah,
like,
but Casey Kasem does, I'll be, like,
yeah, I'll be watching you. I'll be smelling you from
this
the
one
bushes.
goes into little Timmy. I'll be watching you.
Yeah. I'll be watching you from the bushes, and nobody can see me, Casey Kasem. By the way, he died in 2014, so we're safe.
We're safe. Moratorium on jokes about him is gone.
Yeah,
because if he was on his deathbed, we'd be horrible people.
We would.
Now we can only look forward to lawsuits from his children.
Hey, he's been dead for as long as our podcast has been around. That is fair game. Anybody who died before...
The Lost and Known podcast, airing since Casey Kasem died.
Can we please make that our promotion? Remember him? Oh shit, that's really good. Anyway, we're talking Juggalos, though. So, yeah, we've got our Juggalo Roundup, I think, is what we're really going to call this, because essentially it's a year in review. Juggalo year in review, Roundup, whatever you want to call it. Every year, a decent amount of Juggalo news pops up. Sometimes it's wild. Sometimes you get those big stories like the Juggalo March last year, where you could really have fun. There's always the gathering of the Juggalos. There's more and more Juggalo stuff. There's the Juggalo gang label, which a lot of people might remember back in 2011 was applied to the Juggalos as and I, the ICP fan, yeah, people don't know what Juggalos are. But
I think we can gloss over the idea.
If you don't, maybe
just
you Googled it.
You
by
know
now.
what? Just go Google it.
Google a Juggalo. That's like a Save a Juggalo campaign. Look at these poor little Juggalos.
It's what it's probably like a thing within their community too, where you just fill your mouth with Faygo and then blow someone. That's Googling a Juggalo.
Yeah. And remember, there's a
Gets real
difference.
foamy. Makes him look like a rabid dog while he's sucking my dick. Dude, that's gay. Well, we're all inclusive.
That's the beauty that we've
That's
actually.
the point.
We've
actually
actually-
like the Juggalos because they're all inclusive.
It sounds like we like shit on them, and they are. It's one of those things where it's like, well, this is like, it's a funny low-hanging fruit to like pick on, sort of. But at the end of the day, we went into the first Juggalo week thinking
Picking on them.
Picking on them, and assuming that we would come. And I remember I watched like 3 documentaries on Juggalos before going to that. We did some mad research, and they. Like, I remember, like, being like, yeah, Juggalos is so stupid, it's so funny. And then by the time I was done, I'm like, we kind of fucking love Juggalos, man. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
They're
The
a
more
little
you learn
crazy,
about them,
but, like, they're really inclusive.
They're degenerates.
A band of misfit degenerates.
Misfits.
The thing is, though, I'm a degenerate. The stuff that I like to do for fun is, like, I'm not like a fancy fun guy. I like going and burning stuff in a pile, you know?
Yeah, but this is like a group of people who you would never expect to be all-inclusive. They don't care if you're gay, bi, transgender.
They're pretty much, if you're a misfit, you like, that makes you more likely to be accepted as a Juggalo. Not a Juggaho, which is a somebody who wants to be a Juggalo wannabe, but doesn't actually, put in the work. Yeah. A Juggalette, however, is a female Juggalo.
Now, one of the problems the Juggalos have run into over their years of listening to the music of ICP, gathering into these yearly gatherings and marches, like the one on DC last year, is the FBI decided to categorize them due to their coherence as a loose group of people who have a similar ideology.
And have been known to get in some trouble.
Oh my
here
god,
and
yeah.
there.
If you listen to past Juggalo episodes of the show, people have cut people's tattoos off, hurt people, stabbed people, shot people. But these are isolated incidents.
And the argument is that these are people, by insulated human beings who
You cut me off. I mean, if you wanted me to say my point without...
Go ahead. Continue.
Without talking about... No,
isolated incidents, yes.
Yeah, isolated incidences of crime and hate can happen with any group. I mean, we can talk about any group. If you want to go big, talk about Catholicism.
Yeah.
We're not saying
Catholics
are bad people, but a few priests have fucked a few kids.
Quite a few. Quite a few priests have fucked quite a few kids.
No, quite a few priests have fucked one unlucky child.
It was the same one. Oh, not again. 800 priests. It's it's like that Houston 500 porn movie. It's just, oh my god, I can't believe we're going here.
One bruiser from their group who's a witness, like, yeah, I don't know where this one witness went. I think he might be swimming with the fishes. Could you clarify that? Yeah, we sent him on scuba diving lessons. He's not here today.
If you know what I mean.
So he'll be back later this week. It's a court case. He needs to be on time for a date. Yeah, he's swimming with the fishes.
And let's just say maybe Jesus took this fish and turned him into 40 fishes to feed a bunch of people. Because we like Jesus, and that makes sense with the Bible.
Maybe he tried walking on water, and he's not Jesus. Maybe that's a bit of a glug, glug, glug,
Maybe he shouldn't have been wearing those cement shoes, if you knows what I means.
I know the mafia is involved with the Catholic Church that deep.
Pope Francis, you're allowed to now leave the stage now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't need to take the stand no more, do I? No, see? Anyway, but yeah, you're right. You can take any group of people, and there are going to be bad actors within them, but the point is, do they do it because they're part of this, or is it just a bad actor that happens to be one of these? In this case, the thing that the Juggalos were saying back in 2011 and since, which kind of led to the Juggalo March last year, was that we are not a gang. We are a gang. We are a group of mostly. We're not a gang. We're just a gang. Oh shit.
Yeah, a bunch of rapscallions.
Yeah.
Sometimes we like to flick quarters at each other and feel the pain.
Yeah. You want to challenge me at dice or jacks or bones? Bones. Well, human bones. You mean? Oh shit. No, that's not good for our image either. We're all playing bones with human bones. Well, we found them, but the priest gave them to us.
Regardless, though, they are all inclusive. Basically, if you're just some person who can't find a click, they'll let you in. And I guess, okay, I guess a lot of people could be yelling at their phones, radios, etc. right now, going, they're still not good people.
Well, guess what? We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. And
saying a whole group of people are not good people is ridiculous anyway. Like, come on, open your hearts, open your minds. Yes, but there are bad people within them, and that's actually what has been
why they got the gang.
And unfortunately, they have they filed appeals to get that drop. They did the Juggalo March last time around, showing we're actually a peaceable group of people, and it actually coincided with the what is it, Mother of All rallies, which had like 40 people show up last year. The alt-right fucking craziness that marched in DC, and the Juggalos became the good guys actually finally for the first time in popular culture because they were like
anti-Trump.
Because they were just like, stop your hate, and these are people like, wait a minute, Juggalos are like positive.
Yep, they were anti-Trump, anti-hate, positive inclusion, and literally marched to make it so that other people could be happier.
Yes. And unfortunately, after this was back in December, so this is again part of the year in review. Since the last time we covered the Juggalos, the Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the FBI's designation was not only legally binding but also can't be challenged again in court. So unfortunately, the gang label seems here to stay unless the FBI were to willingly drop it at some point, which means they'll still fight it, I'm sure, but it's a matter of they can't fight it through legal means, unfortunately.
I did read throughout that article that there are several cases where people who have affiliation with the Juggalo group in professional lives have been discriminated against or unjustly harassed.
There's
by
people
police.
who have lost their job because on Facebook their employer gets a picture of them at a Juggalo fest and stuff, and then it impacts their life negatively. They're a great employee. They don't wear their fucking face paint to work or anything. They know that to split the difference, but then they like going out and hanging out with their group and doing their thing. And because it's like, oh, these are Juggalos, we need to discriminate against them. And discrimination is just, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Scott. I'm going to say it's not okay. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to say discrimination isn't okay.
there was a career.
I'm a fucking hero.
I will not say there is one more fucking time.
I just was like waiting for you to pat me in the back and call me a hero.
No, you don't need that. You know I pat you in the back
I'm
after
gonna
the
march.
show.
I'm gonna march.
I rub your lower back and I
do.
pat your head and everything is good.
Yep.
No, there was actually a career, I believe, Marine who had gone through many of South Pacific tours, if you will. I know that we're not at war with the South Pacific, but they were going.
They're still tours of duty, regardless.
But they were actually disciplined because of their affiliation due to the tattoos they had in their body.
Yeah, a Hatchet Man tattoo, most likely of some kind or something like that. Yeah. And people, so there have been people who have essentially, there was one even where somebody had they had threatened social services against them because they happened to be a juggalo, and they're like, listen, I can take care of my kid. I'm not like, but they're like, yeah, what kind of person are you? Are you going to be raising your kid in a juggalo family? Well, they're like, yeah, I mean, I will, but like, I'll hope they like my stuff. But it's just like somebody, any parent being into something and whether or not they can still raise their kid, God, we probably don't even take, Alex Jones for the long... Oh, wait, no, that's a bad example because he did get his kids taken away from him. Oh, that's too bad. Sorry, Alex. But, anyway. So, what are the... Oh, yeah, continue. Sorry.
Well, there is a declassified report.
That's where I was going with it.
If you want, go ahead with that for a little bit. Then I have a piece of content I think I've created for this.
Okay, because the...
because we even announced that that's the theme of our show. We did earlier, right?
We try to make good content out of this.
Yeah, we're going to make content out of this.
Yes.
So,
and even though this is... This is something we haven't done in Juggalo Week before because this is new content since the beginning of 2018. So this is the first time we've done this with Juggalo content. I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be fun. But this is combined, I think, a piece of content with the gang label not being dropped is because in a little bit later than that, and actually it was earlier this year, the FBI actually declassified their report on the gang threat and why they are considered a loosely organized hybrid gang. And they kind of the report itself you can actually find, it's like 150 pages or something like that, and it takes forever to read. If anybody actually wants to go, they can just Google it. It's on Scribd. It's downloadable on the FBI website. You can see the whole thing. If anybody wants to do a book report on it, feel free and send it to us, and we'll throw it in the trash and not read it.
So my new content is America's next top Juggalo.
First of all, that is just a good idea and something that Juggalos and ICP should at least take on as like a stage show because they still sell places out like crazy.
ICP is two dudes, so you get one of them on stage with two other judges. Maybe one's from like one of their affiliated groups.
Oh, and you definitely got to be able to bring them on tour with you and stuff like that. After they get a real good prize out of it.
But one is like a fucking like curveball.
Yeah,
like you had David Hasselhoff or someone. And the idea is, like, you need to prove that you're worthy to be a Juggalo. And you have all these people, like...
Oh, Juggalo games?
Like, Juggalo games. You get people covering
and you start with, like...
being like, look at me. Yeah, I'm a Juggalo. But, like, so do you like gay people? Fuck no, I hate those...
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, no.
You gotta be inclusive.
Gotta be inclusive. Get out.
Yeah.
Next one. They go up and like, no tattoos, no piercings. So what do you have to say? Well, I've been alone all my life. I've never actually had any friends. I came out as gay to my parents and they kicked me out and I lived on the streets for a while. I ate out of gutters and I killed rats for food. I've always liked ICP's message. They seem inclusive and, well, could I just be one?
Well, I gotta say, little brother... That Hulk Hogan here apparently. That
that works better than Hasselhoff, honestly.
Little brother, I gotta say I've been through some ups and downs when I was out there with the Hulkamaniacs, and people didn't believe in me, and I had to lift Andre the Giant over my head and bench press him and toss him down just to prove my worth and throw up my back, and I'm a piece of shit now. That took me forever to get through, and that's why I'm gonna say 20% off to you at anything at HulkNation.com. You are not the next Juggalo, because you also didn't have anything to do with Juggalos whatsoever, but I like your story, brother. I'm gonna take it as my own, write it into my biography just for you, Hulkamaniac. You like the Hulkster? I don't care. Get off the stage! Body slam.
Next Juggalo walks up, covered in Juggalo Axemen tats. Green hair, piercings everywhere.
Okay.
Oh, I'm a Juggalo. I'm from Kentucky. I fucked my sister, and I drink the moonshine we're making the hills.
Well, brother, listen.
I also hate the blacks, the gays, the Hispanics. I met a man from Guam once, and I fucking killed him.
Well, listen, here's the thing. I gotta liken this to a story when the Hulkster back in 1982 was getting his start, and I was maybe known as Terry then. I don't know. I don't remember. I was coked up out of my mind, and I too saw a man from Guam walk into that ring. He was brown anyway. I didn't care for him. I stomped his head like a fucking piñata, and I said, "Take that, brownie," and then I threw him out of the ring, and then years later, I body slammed Andre the Giant, put him over my head like I was the first one ever to do so. So, brother, I gotta say, I hear what you're saying, and I like what you're saying, mostly about all the racist stuff, because I agree with that wholeheartedly. So, you, my friend, I'm gonna say I vote to send you off to where are we sending them? Kentucky? Oh, well, you'll know that place well. All right, well, so I'm gonna leave it to the other guys. I think your racist message ain't so good, but, I do like your hair and tattoos, so I'm gonna say let's send you on to Kentucky. Well, as the third Juggalo, I don't exactly agree with the racist message, and I don't agree with anything else you said. Your voice is squealy. But I feel that you have put in your time based on your hair and tattoos, and I'm going to go ahead and send you on to Kentucky. Congratulations, you're moving on to the next round.
And now we have our third contestant. He is wearing a full bodysuit made of human skin. He's just shaking uncontrollably. He's holding a hatchet. In his other hand is a ICP-CD. It looks like the Great Malenko. It looks like he wants you to sign it.
Yeah, looks like it's...
Let's hear from him. I like your albums, and the thing I appreciate most is sometimes when you rhyme, it just sounds nice.
Oh, thank you. I write most of the rhymes.
Yeah. Sir, I'm wearing a suit of skin.
I've noticed. I did see that actually.
A lot of the
looks like a lot of the work, a lot of good work went into it. Are those original tattoos?
I've learned to sew in home ec in high school.
Yeah.
There's tattoos on the skin, and they're from the people I killed. They're juggalos.
Oh, so those are tattoos you collected, essentially.
I'm a bit of a collector of skin of juggalettes and juggalos, not juggalos.
Okay, points for knowing the difference. I do like that.
I just want to know if maybe I could be the next top ICP member. I didn't read the sign.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm going to speak for me and my homeboy here, and I'm going to say you're moving on to Kentucky, Hulkster. Well, listen, back in the 1980s and the 1990s, when Hulkster was at peak form, he put a Andre the Giant aging over his head and body slammed him in WrestleMania 3, or whichever one it was. I can't remember. I was coked up out of my mind. My foot was filled with Guam man goo, because I had recently stomped a man from Guam, and I said, "Hey, Brownie, I don't like you. Have I told this story before? Most of my brain's going to shit because of the syphilis. Anyway, you're moving on to Kentucky. Congratulations."
Racist? That sounded racist.
If you're asking if the Hulkster's racist, the answer is an absolute yes, you. Wow, I've never heard that many racist things sewn together into a clever thing. I'm actually going to say, Hulkster, you might be the next top Juggalo.
Does this mean I get in the show? And if not, can I at least get my CD signed?
Guess what? We're going to sign your CD, and you get to move on to Kentucky. Congratulations. You're one of the next potential top Juggalos.
I'm sorry for the outburst, but I am literally the most excited I've ever been.
I can tell by the look on your, I don't think those are your eyes. It looks like you have stolen those recently from, it looks like those are the eyes of our lighting guy. Is that correct?
You're not wrong, and
okay. That means right.
I'm sorry that I've wet myself. It's really making the blood around the three dicks I sewn together.
Oh, that's what that is. I was curious if you had some kind of weird.
No, it's my
you wet your skin suit.
Incontinence.
Okay. Well, regardless of that, this is just really solidifying my decision to make you one of the next top juggalos.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go backstage and sew.
Well, Hulkster needs to go down by. Click.
All right, well,
So that's some good content right there.
dude, I like it. I think America's Next Juggalo could be a hit show. Maybe what do you think? TBS USA?
No, whatever. I think ICP TV would be the big one.
Is that a thing?
I mean, it isn't, but it
wouldn't shock me if you were like, "Oh, dude,
no,
that's
like
a
one
thing."
of the one of the apps you download, like Fire Stick or something. Like ICP put out their own TV channel.
Oh,
or something.
God, yeah,
Like it totally could be there, but I don't think it is, and if it's not, it should be. So ICP TV, their first show is America's Next Top Juggalo, and it's all done live and done with that series of judges.
Well, the rest of the ICB stories are a little bit more culturally relevant, as in they happened more recently.
Most of them 2018.
We're digging back into the year because this is a year in review, so we're going to go all the way back to Valentine's Day of 2018.
And this one, this is a pretty short story, but I actually kind of like the way...
Wow, what a great story! You weren't kidding how short it was.
Yep, the short story was me saying, this is a short story. It's a Valentine's Day.
I'm sorry to interrupt for that joke that didn't land. Go ahead.
Joke, okay. Did you use air quotes for that?
Yes,
you were just
listener can totally tell when I'm doing air quotes.
Actually, there is a vocal air quote that we figured out, right? Like, air quotes.
Yeah, you gotta do like a little douchey voice.
Inflection.
Yeah. All right,
So anyway, poor old Juggalos. Okay, so first of all, why not? They had a Valentine's Day hip-hop show. So apparently, they put this hip hop show on, and as part of it, they get internet access, for like the kind of like when you do like venues and stuff like that. And the sound guy was saying that they were curious what the Wi-Fi password and stuff. They needed this information. They borrowed a laptop and all that kind of stuff. They're like, oh, he probably needs it either to look things up or to do some things during the time, or maybe doing sound once you dial it in is fine, and then you just want to peruse the web. Well, it turned out that they had actually spent pretty much the entire time downloading just hundreds of 3-6 Mafia songs via BitTorrent, and it resulted in the ICP did not know it at the time, and they ended up like one of the ICP guys got home. And of course, like the venue, I'm sure, whatever it was, reserved in his name, whatever it was that targeted him to be a suspect for these DMCA notices. Anybody who's had downloaded torrents have probably gotten these from Comcast and whatnot. They're just warning saying, please don't do this torrent shit anymore, or we'll actually have to give your information to the people who are requesting it. They got over 500 waiting for them at home when they actually got home and opened their mailbox, and they saw this essentially this box of DMCA notices being mailed to them saying, hey, you used your internet to do this. And at first he was like, well, maybe it was like somebody I left something on or something, and then he noticed it was associated with the venue itself. And
between the hours on the day,
exactly,
that the ICP,
yes, between and all, this was all the download activity happened between 9:40 and 10:30 p.m. the same night the Juggalo Valentine's Day bash was occurring. So that's when he realized, like, oh, wait a minute, this was, first of all, that's just a lot of activity. The person's like, I need every 3-6 fucking Mafia song.
Well, there was 500 notices.
Yes.
I don't think 3-6 Mafia has 500 songs.
No, my guess is those are probably instances. You could maybe have downloaded one song, and if I think you have like 500 people, like if you're seeding, that's when you get those notices. So folks out there doing torrenting, you're probably fine downloading. The second you start seeding, that's when you actually might get those DMCA notices. So if you leave your torrent client on after it's downloaded, and you're doing the right thing if you're torrenting, and if you're into that stuff, and you're seeding back to the community, if you have 500 people get those, that means you have potentially 500 DMCA notices, because you're essentially giving that song to 500 people, and you can get 500 notices for the same song. Or in this case, it may have been a few hundred, because he wasn't attached that long, so he was
also
at 3-6 Mafia.
How about it's 2018? Stop fucking torrenting. It's not fucking LimeWire anymore. Like,
just get free Spotify and listen to an ad every once in a while. You have every 3-6 Mafia song immediately. Like,
well, I was gonna say almost anything can be streamed. Yes. Illegally, and no one's gonna bust you for streaming illegally.
Yes, because you're not seeding to the community.
Yeah, torrenting is literally like
Well, here's the thing.
What LimeWire was back in the day.
I can understand. I mean, first of all,
it.
I hate because I used to torrent plenty like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, but 2018 is like someone who doesn't understand the internet
Well,
anymore.
no, and the thing is, though, I would still say torrenting would be safer than most streaming if you're using your actual computer. If you have a Windows computer and you're streaming, you're probably getting viruses like a motherfucker. If you're using something like Kodi or something like that, that's a different story.
What I was going to say.
But
like,
I was also going to say sometimes
Kodi.
that also really sucks because you're connecting to streams. Downloading might make sense. I also say, for the most part, and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I did used to take advantage of that. The second you actually have a job and you could pay for shit, just fucking buy your stuff. Because, like, if you actually are doing it to enjoy it, it's one thing sometimes we've torrented, like, I needed to listen to, like, a Britney Spears song to figure out how to parody it. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking buy that even for 99 cents, but I need to know what it's all about. So, maybe I would download something or stream it on YouTube or something like that to kind of, like, get an idea of how something is being used. But for the most part, if it's something you actually like, Ash vs. Evil Dead was canceled almost exclusively because of pirating, and that includes streaming on
Which
Kodi
is sad because I actually bought Stars just to watch it.
I did, me too. And
now I'm going to have to pirate the last season.
Yeah.
Because now that it's canceled, I'm not giving Stars a fucking penny, and I did not buy it on Stars for the last season.
But the thing is, and that's not even Stars' fault. That's why Ash vs. Evil Dead wasn't really that, like, they weren't upset with Stars. They're like, they did what had to happen financially. We're a really popular show if you look at how many people watch us. 4 times as many people watch us that pay to watch us. If even half those people had actually bought our shit, we'd still be on the air. So pirating can have negative consequences. I do understand how there's some people who literally can't afford it and it's not really taking any money out of anything. But if you can and you like your content, it's good to like.
That's how I treated Napster and LimeWire back in the day. It was like, yeah, I just downloaded 9
I usually just get like a lot of live
stuff. I was
stuff.
like, I'm broke. I never would have gone out and bought 9 albums.
Yeah.
So at least maybe I could play these 9 albums on my phone, pirated. And maybe some people at my work listening to them out loud go, wow, that's a really good band. Who is it? And then maybe they'll go buy it. I consider myself an advertiser.
Sure.
That was me like 20 years ago when Napster and LimeWire were huge.
A lot of people listening are like, what the fuck is LimeWire?
Oh,
but
yeah. No, this was literally 20 years ago.
That's straight up peer-to-peer. That's even pre-torrent. Yeah.
And I would literally be like, well, I would never buy these albums because I have zero money. 20 years ago, I was broke.
Well, yeah, this is, so at the end of the day, they were saying, this is, again, how, like, really nice and accepting these guys are. They're like, if a torrent-happy Juggalo's to blame, we're not mad. We assume it's actually possibly an inside job because the sound guy working that night needed a laptop. And they were saying, we're still going to do this again. We're not too concerned about it. It's too bad, this happened. And even if we get in a little bit of legal trouble or whatever, it's not enough to fuck up the show. And if you were the person who did it, just don't do it again at our show. That would be great because you don't want to screw this up for everybody else. But we're not really mad. We get it. So, but the other, and they're also like, yeah, you're also only torrenting 3-6 Mafia, not us. So that's good. You're giving us your money anyway. So so that's the Juggalo Valentine's Day hip hop show, which I just think it's funny that they have one of those too because so many people.
Well, I think it's clever.
I don't think a lot of people would associate. First of all, like live concerts and stuff, like big hip hop festivals around Valentine's Day, let alone Juggalos. But I love the fact that they did it because they're like, we're all about love, so let's do this. Also, diabetes because Faygo's awesome.
Now, new content. I have nothing for that. I don't think there's anything about stealing music that could be new content. This would be like a show for like the 1999 scene.
Well, how about like a dog? How about thinking like a Dog the Bounty Hunter situation where it's the Juggalos going in and like fucking tracking down people who are illegally downloading music?
No.
Okay. Well, first time in history, an idea on Law's Own Podcast has been vetoed, and we do have a veto rule as of today, where if the other person wants a veto idea, they just say no, and we move on. So,
well, actually, I want to move on to the Juggalo makeup story because I feel like there is content to be generated out of this.
Oh, you want to be that? Because okay, well, I could get just a quick aside for the next story that was supposed to be listed because I mentioned Faygo, and this one actually doesn't even have to be turned into anything because it's literally,
no.
This is literally like one line.
Yeah.
So this is just that. So there's apparently a Juggalo thing called the Juggalo Prom. Which is
this might have been regional.
Yeah. Well, it was So
like a one-time thing.
Lansing, Michigan. Yeah.
Hey, want to have a Juggalo prom? Who's gonna go? Well, Me, I'm wearing the makeup. How about you?
Well,
You're wearing the makeup?
no,
All
okay,
right,
yeah.
cool. We have a prom.
So apparently, the group ICP played their first Lansing, Michigan show back in 2016, and there was an excessive amount of Faygo spraying. So when Lansing, Michigan heard there was going to be something called the Juggalo Prom, apparently there's a big Juggalo community in Michigan, especially Lansing, enough to get a Juggalo Prom together, which sounds cool. The Juggalos were very dismayed to find out that they were not allowed to spray Faygo because of the incidents that occurred last time. That being said, just to have a little respect for the actual place that you're at, just don't spray soda. That's not you can spray like seltzer water or something like other clowns
Well,
do.
maybe not, because they sprayed so much Faygo that it leaked through the floorboards into offices.
Yeah,
in
it
the
wasn't even about
business
being
below.
sticky and cleaning up.
It
was
destroyed
just,
part of the
It was
building.
actually like vandalism at that point.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if you're like doing we know like Guar shows, if when Guar plays, they have to sign special things, essentially have special insurance and all that kind of stuff, saying like, you're gonna fuck our place up. That's fine, but you're going to be paying for it.
Yeah, I got covered in fake guar blood once.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's what people go to the shows for. And the thing is, though, the venues know it by now. So maybe
That was
if they
back
want
when
to
the lead
start,
singer was still alive.
if they want to get into Faygo spraying again, they know what's going to happen. Well, they need to like pay for the treatment of the place, make sure there are tarps down, etc. So anyway, that was just one story, not worth the extra content. I just wanted to actually bring that up before we move on to my favorite story out of all these, which is the fact that Juggalo makeup apparently has the power to beat facial recognition software.
And what I loved, it isn't just face makeup can beat facial recognition software. It's specifically the designs of Juggalo.
Of the Juggalo, because a lot of you'll notice Juggalos have very like a set of certain designs which are usually used to mimic existing
clown designs, evil clown designs.
Yes, and that have been reused quite a bit across the Juggalo community.
Yeah, and like that stuff works really well
Black
for
and white, mostly.
the facial recognition not actually registering the face, because it can't read where the chin starts.
Yep.
And the rest of the face
And also,
begins.
and you'll notice like with the official Juggalos, the actual I shouldn't say Juggalos. They're not Juggalos. The actual two members of ICP are the King Juggalos. And you'll actually see, if you look at their makeup, you'll see like where the eyebrows are, and then they have a dot underneath them. Those could be like, I'm sure facial recognition software is like, those are eyes. And they're like, no, that's not the eye. And then suddenly down below, there's a nose and two lines and a big wide mouth. They're like, well, that's like a chin and a beard and a nose, like, or maybe that's a mouth. Like it fucks with it enough to like confuse the software, specifically because of how this software, I'm sure other clown or this makeup, I'm sure other clown makeup would fuck it up.
And this was noticed during the Juggalo march where, and this is the creepy part, anytime you march pro or against anything in public, sorry.
Yes, this story's close to his heart, and it's really choking him up. And I just want to say, I really appreciate your passion.
The government just shot a trank dart down my throat as I was trying to say this.
Oh my God, he's gonna be the first person who breaks this news, and it's on a podcast.
Sorry, just choked on a government trank dart, but no, no. The idea
Luckily,
is
we've been immunizing ourselves to those for years now. We've been stabbing ourselves with smaller and smaller, like larger and larger doses of trank dart, government trank dart. It's
I've been doing it with smaller and smaller doses.
I started with a big one. It fucking almost died. And then since then,
but yeah, they actually learned in the march that they can't facially recognize the people in ICP, and
which is also scary because clearly they're trying to facially recognize people.
That is the creepy part. Is that anytime you do a march, whether it's the Pink Cat March or any anti-Trump, any pro-Trump, etc.,
big surprise, you're being watched. Big Brother is watching.
Scanned as a protester. Yeah. We don't know what they're doing with that information except for recognizing that you're there.
Yeah.
What we did learn from this, though, is that, and it was a bit of a tip of the hat from the government, I guess, wearing one of those bandanas around your face where only, like, your eyes are visible under a baseball cap and a bandana is enough to facially recognize you as a exact individual.
Yes.
Just showing your eyes isn't good enough to hide.
Yeah, there are certain nodes where you can be like, that is, well, and what they do is they're like that's like an 86% match or something like that, and they'll be like, if we get that across the board with three different
marches,
then we can be like, we can say 380% or above matches means that's enough for us to actually either go after this person if we actually are looking for them, or to associate them directly with this individual, because the likelihood of that being somebody else, 186% match might not be enough. When you get a bunch across the board, it's going to be enough to say, all right, this is probably that person, pretty close enough to where we can actually go after them or something.
So the new content I've thought about out of this is a dystopic future I wouldn't say horror, but dystopic future movie.
Well, with us, it's got to be at least that like dark,
dark
psychological thriller action or something.
Oppressive government, people protesting. Probably we're gonna call it final protest.
I almost feel like a purge style.
No,
atmosphere.
I was thinking of that. Yep. We'll call it final protest. People are massing. They want the government to stop.
I actually kind of like that title. It's very simple and very straightforward. But sometimes you got to be spot on with that. Nothing fancy.
Government fights back. They disperse this gigantic protest. We're talking like Million Man March times.
I like the thought of it.
1,000.
I like the thought of it literally being like when they say final protest. It sounds like fancy, but this was like the last protest that ever happened because after this, shit went down or whatever. So there's never been another protest since.
And a lot of the people in the protest who are your main protagonists are wearing not ICP face makeup, but makeup that it mimics the results that are caught by those cameras that can't see their face.
Yes.
Meaning like triple eyeballs up and down their face, weird smiles, like you do a theme. So everyone's got like maybe like a clown mouth, but with like 9 eyes and a vertical row.
First of all, that just
head.
the imagery for that, like thousands of people marching with that, would be fucking cool.
Yeah, like giant grins with like rows
and just seeing it on that
eyes.
grainy like CCTV footage of like the people watching that, just almost found footage style of how creepy that would be. Just marching with like 9 eyes, giant clown mouths and stuff, staring at the camera.
Yeah, and those are the good guys.
Yes,
they
are. Yeah,
because the government at this point is like Nazi Germany.
This is Philip K. Dick dystopian future style.
Like Trump Jr.
or Orwellian.
Both of them, they're married now. They run the U.S.
to each other. Yeah.
They run the U.S. as a hetero sibling life mate couple.
Yep.
Good. Yep. And they basically just have like a bunch of people who are wearing that makeup get away, and the drones are trying to find them and all that stuff. I mean, it just turns into a big movie. I don't want to get into full details because we're wrapping up the show.
Yeah,
but I think there's something there where it's almost like The Purge, and it's almost like modern fucking reality that we live in. That's a saddest part.
Yeah.
But we can learn a little something from ICP. Their makeup could teach us in the future how not to be tagged by the government during just protests.
And here's the thing: I'm sure the second this information came out, and this is actually one of the most recent stories we have. This was probably like a month ago or something. This story
easily,
came out. And so this is like the freshest of the Juggalo stories. It was also the most interesting. We went in chronological order for a reason, but it just happened to be that the coolest story, in my opinion, was the very last one anyway. And but I do like the fact that I should say the frightening thing is I'm sure when that information became available, the government was on it. They're like, let's fix this facial recognition software. What can we do?
There's
so
one
that
dude
it strips that out and recognizes this is makeup. They've got to be able to train a system to be like, this is not what a human face looks like. Strip away the weird, like crazy areas of contrast and leave me with everything else. Use those nodes to do that.
You're right, but it's one fucking dude in a fucking basement cubicle right now is just like, maybe if I change it to sepia tone. No, maybe if I invert it.
You really think that's all the government is spending to monitor us? Is one dude?
They have computers between departments that are different computers running different software that don't talk to each other.
They do.
Yes. There is a man right now in a janitor's closet trying to remove clown paint from a fucking 17-year-old's face.
I would go the other way and say I think they are willing to spend money in an inefficient way, which is why none of their computers talk to each other properly across agencies and stuff. But what it is they've got 1,400 of those dudes not talking to each other, all trying the same stupid shit. So they've got 1,400 dudes in basements doing it, but none of them know what the other one is doing.
They're not talking to each other yet.
Yeah. Because they're inefficient because, hey, government, that's what they do, man. That's right, Hulkster says government's no good. Unless, of course, they're helping you sue a media outlet and take them down, take them like I did Gawker. That's right, Gawker, I put them over my head just like I did Andre the Giant. Hulkster, get out of here, dude. I don't even know why you're here,
That's fucked and awesome and right. And, I guess if you're going to tune in next week, make sure to hit us up on all social medias beforehand. Hit us up on Twitter at The Lost at Home. That's the official channel. Also, Jer and I have personal Instagram accounts that I feel are worthy of sharing. Mine is Legend Tripper. with an underscore between legend and tripper.
Yep, and I am Sonic Jalopy, SonicJalopy on Instagram, and I like painting and doing things.
And we also started a joint Instagram account for the show. It's Lost and Known Podcast.
It's like the official one.
Yeah, you just go to Lost and Known Podcast on Instagram, and what we do is we put up show images, weird stuff.
Where we're talking
do.
about doing some like little bits and pieces of additional content that'll eventually maybe make it in longer forms on a little teaser content, stuff that might make it onto patreon.com/lostathome where you can support the show. Things like that. Little bits and pieces of some stuff that's coming down the pike for YouTube content that we're going to do. Little GIFs, things like that. Whatever little brain farts you and I want to put together.
Exactly.
We can do
nice place for us to throw things for people to watch. And if you're on Facebook, make sure to join the fan group. That's Lost and Known Podcast. There's also a page. The page we don't do a whole lot with, even though it has a bunch of followers, but we definitely do a whole lot with the fan group. If we ever get back into Questions of the Week, that's where we post them. We also talk to people, and we like it when you share stories with us there. And we can also interact and talk with our fans, so make sure to hit us up there. Besides that, Jer, what are we going out on this week?
Actually, this is going to be one of those rare instances because we started the show promoting ourselves and what we do so much. We didn't want to drop an ad totally in the middle of it. We're actually going to end first on going out on a little bit of a sponsor information from thebandbox.com. And then after that, you're going to be able to hear my Sonic Jalopy Juggalo song. So listen to what our good friend Ed Gein, who's a good friend of the show, has to say about the Bandbox and some of the horror content that you can get throughout. And after that, stay tuned for Sonic Jalopy's Juggalo, Good Time to Be a Juggalo.
Make sure to use offer code LAH10.
Yes.
Home. LAH10
on the bandbox.com.
on
Regardless whether you're using the want to get the horror box or the standard bandbox. And you know what? We'll just let Ed Gein talk about that. And after that, you can enjoy Mr. Sonic Jalopy's Good Time to Be a Juggalo. And in the meantime, until we talk to Jay Moulton next week and have our next 232 episode, which is actually not odd, we say get lost.
Get lost.
Wow, that's a scary sound. Hey everybody, it's me, Ed Gein. You might remember me from being that butcher in Wisconsin what killed all those people. I also dug a bunch of people up. And then I collected their bones and made them into things. Real crafty. Well, in case you're wondering why I'm here talking to you today, it's not that I'm just a murderer. I'm also a collector of murdery things. One of my favorite things to do is walk around and find people's fingernails. And I put them in a bag, and I eat them like popcorn while I talk to my mother, who's been dead for several years. Anyways, enough about that. What I'm here to talk to you about today is one of my favorite services for collected things. It's called Bandbox. Not just any Bandbox. Bandbox Horror is what I'm talking about this time. Although if you go to thebandbox.com, you can also get the regular Bandbox, $26.99. Gonna get a bunch of good things there. Bandbox Horror is pretty cool though. Sometimes it shows up and there's fingers in there, and I take the fingernails off and I count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 fingernails. Anyways, not all the time do you have fingernails. In fact, a lot of times what you'll get are exclusive, authentic horror celebrity autographs, and exclusive enamel pins and autographed fan art. Also prop replicas, comics, and collectibles. Also, in case you don't like what you get, say I only want 5 fingernails for whatever reason, there's an active online trading community. So you go and say, hey, Joey, I noticed you got 5 toenails, and I got 10 fingernails. Want to make a trade? Of course he does. Then I murder Joey, and I take him into my bedroom, and I molest his corpse, and I eat cereal out of his skull. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the Bandbox. Go to thebandbox.com and subscribe. $26.99 per month. You just get some good stuff there. It's coming up on the season. 'Tis the season. If you don't want to take my word for it, talk to my little friend. His name is Jason. Yeah, that's right. Jason Voorhees. You got something to say? What do you have to say about the Bandbox, Jason? Oh, ki, ha, 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 choo, boo, boo. Okay, dokie. Anyway, hope that you all like the Bandbox. Go to Bandbox, go to the Bandbox, go to the Bandbox.com. And, if you enter the code LAH10, you get 10% off. Yeah, because it's a Lost at Home podcast. Just like lots of people, I got lost in my home and never made it back home and got turned into skin lamps. Anyways, hope you have a good time. Bye.
Face down in a gutter, eating shit in a pile. Drinking Faygo with my homie, balls deep in cherry pie. This is the start of the night with my clique. We're off the fucking greatest corpse with Hitler's petrified dick. It ain't the end though, it's the beginning. Tell them what else we got in store in too deep. I'm in too deep, letter N number 2. But number 1 when it comes to talking boo. If I boo, I mean shit. I talk shit to all your juggalos. Steal your juggalettes and feed your ass to the wall. Gang slanging bitches better run, I ain't scared man. Cause I got rabbit on me fuckers and I can't feel pain. Fucking dead bodies doing drugs in the field. Perplexed by simple science and I really like God.
Lost and found, letter N number found. Have you ever seen a rainbow? That shit is profound. How the fuck do those work? And what the fuck is rain? Where the babies come from? Man, that's insane. God's work is amazing, never cease to amaze me. How the fuck do they make Cheerios? That shit is crazy. Little circles of grain, good for your heart. Only God could be a part of that miracle.
I'm the smart one. I drink beer and blow shit up and do whippets. Yeah, to the bee's knees. They make me dizzy. I'm confused most of the time, but God takes care of me. Gave me a family, also diabetes. Or that was a Faygo maybe. Probably didn't bother with sugar free. Cause eventually I thought I'd grow out of this need. But no, can't do, man. It's just the way it be. I'm a juggalo for life. Fuck me.
I'm a fat guy in makeup. I really like cupcakes. I live in my mother's basement, but I call her my landlord. I shit my pants and she cleans up after me. After she dies, I'll most likely preserve her body and keep it in the attic. And she'll keep it safe.
Whoa, FGM. That shit's a bit too fucked up for a juggalo. Talking about keeping your moms all dead in the attic and shit. That's fucked, man.
Well, she's the only woman that'll ever love me. She let us use her basement to record this after all.
Franklin?
Yeah, mama?
Franklin, is everything okay down there? I heard your shitty fucking music stuff. Are you and your circus friends ready for dinner? You know, no woman will ever love you like mama.
Okay, mama.
Every woman is a whore and they're out to get
Yeah,
you.
we're coming
Can't trust
upstairs
no one,
pretty-
but mama, no, come upstairs and you and your friends get your Easy Mac. Get your Easy Mac. Get your Easy Mac. Easy Mac.